What's poppin', everybody? Hello and welcome to Popcorn Culture. My name is Ben Carlin and I am your host. Here with me today is my brother Jay, who will be in every episode.
Merry Christmas!
Merry Christmas Eve!
Merry Christmas Eve!
This is exciting times.
This is. It's like it worked out really well. I was like, ooh, was it Christmas Eve? How fun!
I know. Tomorrow's the big day.
It is the big day. Do you have big plans for Addison on her first Christmas ever?
Oh dear. Hopefully I don't get misty on this one.
Oh boy.
So, no, not big plans. But I can tell you that there was a moment of parenthood that hit me so square in the feels, and this was something I never in a million years could have anticipated.
Oh, okay. Ooh, I'm interested.
Well, maybe not like that obscure. I just there's so many moments, like the first time she smiled at me or the first time she like held my finger or whatever, like where I was like, I knew those were going to be like, oh my gosh. I bought, I don't think this is a big spoiler for Alice in case she listens before tomorrow on Christmas Day where she finds out. But she has always really liked these like Keds glitter shoes. They're like super sparkly.
Yeah.
And so I had found them like several years ago for her, and she has just like worn these things to their limit over and over and over again. So she's gone through like 4 or 5 pairs of them.
Whoa.
Over the years. Yeah. So
Alice is like, people don't even know that glitter can wear out, but it can.
Yeah. Here's the thing. If you work in Alice's shop, is you are on your feet at all times. Mm-hmm. And Alice is on her feet at all times. And so she throws down some serious wear and tear on the old sneaks.
Yeah, really boosting those pedometer numbers.
Exactly. So anyway, this year I was going to, and I did buy Alice a new pair of them as one of her gifts. And they do in fact make like baby-sized matching ones, which was really adorable. And I'm like a sneaker person anyway. Like right. I like shoes. But so what was unexpected about all this was really not even like getting the gift or the small shoes, which I was very excited about. It was, I like wrapped the gift and then I was like going to like write the little thing. Cause I usually just fold like a piece of wrapping paper and write like the whatever and Scotch tape.
Classic
down.
Carlin tag.
Yeah, exactly. And it was like, I realized that I was like to Addison, love. And I was like,
like it was the first time you would have signed dad to something?
Yes, it was like, oh my God, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. So it's not even like an unbelievable present or anything. And for the most part, like there's not many things you can really give to like a 2-month-old. Yeah. Because there's just really not that much she can do right now. So anyway, that was like my big like, oh my gosh, like I signed dad to her for the first time ever, and it was that was neat.
There's always those little things like you just cannot anticipate. They're just gonna like hit you in ways like, oh, this is weird. Like when you and I went to London to cover the history of magic thing.
Yes.
For the British Library. We went to the Platform 9 3/4 shop, of course, which was super fun.
Have to.
Yeah, and I was like, ooh, this will be fun. I'm gonna buy Luke his first Harry Potter book from Platform 9 3/4. And Luke was like just born. He was like 7 weeks old or something at this point. But it turned out that they weren't selling any copies of the books that weren't the 20th anniversary copies.
Right.
So, and the gimmick with the 20th anniversary copies is that there is a different version for each house. So they're like house themed. Right. And suddenly I'm faced with like, oh no, I have to choose a house. And it was just like this extremely suddenly emotional thing. Like, what do I know? Like, this is so, I don't know what to do. And I like was just standing there like paralyzed in the shop with like these crazy emotions. And eventually I decided on Gryffindor. For Luke. So that's what his 20th anniversary series of Harry Potter books will be.
That is so cool though.
Yeah.
That is so, and that is a big one, especially like for our lives. We were just talking with our dad. Can we give some small spoilers for tomorrow?
Ooh, I think so. I think so.
For the little kernels.
The little kernels. If you're listening to this on the day it came out, you will get a tiny sneak peek amount of information about the video coming out tomorrow on the main Super Carlin Brothers channel
on Christmas Day.
Christmas Day.
A Christmas miracle, if you will.
Sure.
I feel like I had something I said. Anyway, so we had our dad, the TV newscaster.
Quizmas.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Merry Quizmas.
Yeah.
That's what. So dad came in and he hosted Jay versus Ben.
Yeah.
And so he was quizzing us on these like Harry Potter questions. And what's really unique about it, obviously, for our entire life is these books have they have played a huge role in where we are today. It's probably like the biggest fandom that we cover.
For sure.
But also like it all started with dad. Like we were young enough at the time that dad was like reading the books to us.
Yeah.
And so, this would be like a Sunday night ritual or whatever. And, we would all go in and he'd sit down and read like 2 chapters or whatever. And I don't know, it was really cool because it definitely felt like this very like connected thing.
Yeah.
That we had to dad. And then he even makes a comment, I think, in the episode that'll come out tomorrow where he's just like, I can't believe, from mispronouncing Hermione and perfects and all of that we're sitting here in this room recording, how many years later? Like
20.
Yeah. 20, yeah, of course. Yeah. Cause we know that. So I don't know. It's just, it's very special. It's very cool.
Yeah. It was really fun having dad host the Jay vs. Ben. So if you're interested in hearing that, it's going to be on main channel tomorrow.
Yes.
It's a Harry Potter Christmas quiz.
It is.
In case you're curious.
It's just a great time. It's just a great time. Okay, so one thing that I wanted to, I was going to cut you off immediately. Like
what?
if you when we started it, if you were going to argue about like hostmanship, I was all like locked and loaded to just be like, no time. We can't.
No time
for that today, Jay. Because something important has happened, and that is
fire away.
Voting for the Roanoke Magazine is back open.
This is
once
exciting.
Again.
Okay.
And this year, so last year I feel like I was wanting to be cautious. I was wanting to be careful. I was trying. Yeah. We were trying to not go through and disrupt someone who very, very, very rightfully deserved like recognition or an award in the Roanoke Valley.
Yeah.
Just because there is a considerable amount of audience that we do have that at
exists
times,
outside of Roanoke.
Exactly. Yes. And is willing to help us because they're great people.
Because they're great people.
So the very brief rundown, in case you're not like up on the pop from about 1 year ago, is that in our town there is a local magazine called the Roanoker, and one of their most popular issues is the Best Of issue.
Yep.
Where there is like collective voting from just online ballots. And they're able to determine, like the star of the city, which our dad has won completely, of his own accord, on multiple occasions. And on that same note, he was actually on the cover of the issue in I don't remember how old we were, maybe like 1998 or something.
Yeah, way back in the day.
For Sexiest Man in Roanoke.
That's right. I can't believe that was one of the categories.
Did we?
That he won.
Did we tell that story last time?
I don't know. I know we talked about how he's one star of the city before, but he also won a Sexiest Man in Roanoke once upon a time.
Which is incredible.
So funny. They don't have that category anymore.
No, they sure don't. But anyway, so our whole thing, though, was that they there was a listing last year for best thing not listed.
Right.
And so the way that we interpreted this particular category was like, there isn't something for what you might vote for this person. Does that make sense? Am I saying this correctly? Like, there isn't a category that would. Yeah,
like there's categories for almost anything you might think you need the best of in a city. There's best wedding shop. There's best burger in the Roanoke. There's best bar. There's best radio station or whatever.
Exactly.
And so they cover a lot of stuff. And there's one that says best thing not listed. And you're right. Our interpretation was, what is the best thing we don't have a category for? Go.
Yes. Yeah. Exactly. But literally, what they were asking for was new categories altogether.
Not clear
at all. So we had come to the Little Colonels. We had made a video on your vlog channel with a big call to action, and we were like, guys, we need your help, And so we had tons. I mean, they literally sent out like a notification, like brag that it was like they had record voting. They couldn't believe the number of votes they got this year. And I was like, yeah, that's us.
We know what happened.
Right. And then basically, like, you know, push comes to shove, like several months later, we discovered that like we did not win. And it was like, I was like, that really seems unlikely.
It feels very unlikely.
Yeah. So I actually like, I called the person on the phone. I was like a whole thing. And I was like, what is like, is there any way you can look? Like, are you sure? Like, I was like, I'm trying really hard not to be like, you know, overly confident or cocky or anything about this. But I was like, something tells me that this small town magazine doesn't get like tens of thousands of votes.
Yeah. Well, and then because they did tell you like what won, and like, do you remember what the category was?
Best spray tan salon.
Yeah, right. So that's what they told us won for best thing not listed. It was best spray tan salon, and we were like, "Excuse me." Right. Not only is there 0.000 chance that like anything beat us on best thing not listed, but there's even more 0 chance that it was best spray tan salon.
I know, yeah.
Like, there's no way that just like independently thousands of people just wrote in like spray tan.
Yes. Well, and so this was the other thing too, is that I think we were really worried that if all of the things just said just simply Super Carlin Brothers, then it would maybe look like somehow it was a bot or a hack or something like that. So I think what we had asked people to do was to like include like a little note, like, you know, like just give us just a little bit extra so that like if there are, you know, hundreds or thousands of these votes, that it stands out to them as clear that like these are not
these are not bots.
They're not bots. Yeah, exactly. They're like legit votes. And so anyway, we missed entirely. And the lady on the phone was like, well, don't worry. Next year we'll include best podcast and, you know, like best something.
Yeah.
She actually didn't sound anything like that. I don't know why I chose that voice. That was just
okay.
I know. That was my bad. Bad storytelling.
Jeez. I think the people, they understood.
Yeah. Anyway, so here we are though, a year later. And I was really on the fence about it. Like part of me was like, you know, last year it hurt. And I was like, do we do it again? And we're doing it again.
We're doing it again. Because
people.
You know what? We obviously had a tremendous impact because they do, in fact, have a category this year for best podcast and for best influencer.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we're not messing around this year. We're going to win them both for sure.
Well, we're going for it.
We're going for it. And we're going to win. And we need everyone listening to help us out in doing it.
Yes. So the link in order to vote is in the show notes. You don't have to fill out every category, but what do you want to do for best influencer? Do you want to have it say like
Super Carlin Brothers?
Super Carlin Brothers.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I don't want it. So here's the problem. If we say like Jonathan Carlin or Ben Carlin or Jay and Ben, there's going to be a lot of misspellings. They might not match up. They might not know it's the same show. So just put in Super Carlin Brothers.
Super space Carlin
space Carlin space Brothers.
There we go.
There we go.
And then scroll down just a little bit to best podcast, where I mean, you know, this one maybe.
This one, popcorn culture.
Popcorn space culture.
Popcorn space culture.
Oh my gosh. So oh man, it's the flavor has increased because of the amount of time that has passed.
Yeah.
You know, this is like going on like a 2-day hike and having like limited access to water and then finally getting like a bottle of water and it's like the best thing you've ever consumed.
Yeah.
That's where I feel like I'm at right now. Is like, you know.
You got the water.
I got the water.
Okay.
The thirst is real. So anyway, link is going to be in the show notes if you would like to go and check that out and you know, try to support the shows. We would very much appreciate it. Yes. Thank you in advance for your support.
Yes. Thank you very much in advance for voting for Super Carlin Brothers for Best Influencer and for Popcorn Culture for Best Podcast.
Boom.
Transition. Okay, Ben.
Hey.
Okay.
Hey.
As it's Christmas Eve, I had a Christmas topic I wanted to discuss with you.
Oh man, bring it on.
Okay.
You seem very jazzed about this.
I'm very curious to know. I feel like this is a thing that you and I possibly learned as kids as like a joke, but that no one I think it's possible no one has corrected me since then. And I want to hear from the little car. Don't even want to Google it. Okay. But you're familiar with the song Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
I've heard of it.
You've heard of it, right?
Yeah. He had a very shiny nose.
Yes. And if you ever saw it, you might even say it glows, right? So, but if you, no one ever just sings just the lyrics to the song. There's always like, in between the lyrics, there's like something you chant.
Yes.
Right? Like,
yes.
you know?
Yep.
So it's like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, had a very shiny nose, and if you ever saw it, you might even say it glows like a light bulb.
Like a light bulb.
Right. That's what people say, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay. So I want to go through the songs and hear what you know the chants to be.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So I feel like I'm trying to make sure that I can recall, because I remember at the end of it, there's like, there's two big points on it that I want to cover. Okay.
That I think. But let me I'm going to pull up the lyrics so that I don't accidentally get the song wrong, because I'm going to pause for you to do it. Why can't I find the internet on this phone? Because we don't have Chrome installed. That's why. Okay. All right. Are you ready?
Okay, I'm ready.
All right. So it starts, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer
had a very shiny nose.
Yep. And if you ever saw it, you would even say it glows
like a light bulb.
All of the other reindeer used to laugh and call him names.
Like Pinocchio?
Exactly. Okay, that's the one I know.
Okay.
They never let poor Rudolph join in any reindeer games.
Like Monopoly.
Okay, that's the one I know. Like Monopoly. Then one foggy Christmas Eve, Santa came to say...
Is there a chant in there?
This is the one I think that I have always thought I knew exactly what the chant was, but I am curious.
Oh man. Is it something underwear?
This is okay. That's what I learned was yes. Then one foggy Christmas Eve, Santa came to say, "I lost my underwear."
Yes. Okay.
That one in particular. I'm like, is that right? Is that the one everyone knows?
I don't know.
I remember that I learned that one during a Christmas parade where we were like, in the parade as part of Boy Scout Troop 456. The parade is like a 5-mile walk. We're like 10. We obviously can't do it. So like 1 mile in, everyone's just sitting in the truck and like they're like, oh, let's just sing Christmas songs the rest of the way. And like all the other scouts are just, they're filling in the words.
Sure.
And this is the one that comes up is Santa came to say, I lost my underwear. And like, I thought it was hilarious, because I'm like 9. I'm like, great. That's so funny.
What does it have to do with anything, though?
It doesn't matter. It's like, and I have been filling in that lyric my entire life.
Oh my gosh.
And I don't know if that's the lyric everyone fills in or if that is the lyric a 9-year-old Boy Scout filled in once 20 years ago that stuck with me.
Oh my gosh. Are there any more of these? Is there anything else that's like funny on the list?
Okay, well, so then it goes down. Same to say, I lost my underwear. Rudolph, with your nose so bright, won't you guide my sleigh tonight? Then how the reindeer loved him, as I shouted out with glee.
Yippee.
Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, you'll go down in history.
Like Elvis.
Okay, that one I don't get. Okay, I hate that one.
Okay.
Everyone says like Elvis. And it bothers me so much because Elvis Presley would rhyme. And it was like more in line with like the cadence of the song. And I don't know why people they just end it a syllable early.
like Elvis Presley.
Like Elvis Presley. Like it doesn't rhyme perfectly, obviously. History and Presley don't necessarily rhyme.
But it's closer than Elvis.
Than Elvis. Exactly. I don't know why people don't say the whole name.
So was there ever I feel like I learned Elvis later, but I used to say something else. And I remember hearing Elvis for the first time and being like, what?
Yeah, it doesn't fit.
I wish I could remember what I used to know it as though.
Okay.
But that's pretty amazing. Okay. Now I am also too. I'm very, very curious to know what you guys know about this particular song.
Yeah. What do you fill in? Do you end on Elvis? Do you say, because like, I think when I first heard it, that's what people said. They would say Elvis Presley. And then like later on, people would just say Elvis. And I was like, no, wait, no.
It's like you're missing. Did the page run out?
Yeah. What are you doing?
Were you using Print Shop Deluxe?
No, you had infinite pages on Print Shop Deluxe then.
Good point. Okay, well, so this is interesting because I feel like, one, for some faint reason, I feel like we've maybe talked about some of these songs before on the pop.
Oh,
it may have been 2 full years ago, but there is somebody in the Frosty the Snowman song that I always feel like, I don't know. I don't know if it's the case with these Christmas carols that they've just been around for so long that some of the references have like long expired, but it's also like now they're just part of it.
Right. And so, these are just the lyrics.
Right. Oh shoot, hang on 1 second. Am I completely wrong?
I think you're talking about Winter Wonderland, and I think you're talking about Parson Brown. Is what I think.
Do you want to know what is happening?
What?
I'm thinking about Winter Wonderland and Parson Brown.
Yeah. Because they're still talking about a snowman.
Okay.
A snowman is whom is in question that they're going to refer to as Parson Brown.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so is Parson Brown a person?
Okay, that is a great question. As far I've only ever really been able to use context clues to figure out that particular lyric. And I'm pretty sure parson is like another word for like reverend or priest or something. And Brown is just like the last name that rhymes in the song. And that's why they're going with it. That said, I'm not sure if there's a specific real life Parson Brown that they are
like
alluding to. Yeah. Or if it's just like, oh yeah, within the context of the song, the local guy at the church is Parson Brown. Because what's happening is that I think they're like pretending to have a wedding in the song, right?
Okay.
And so they're getting, this is the person who's marrying them is Parson Brown.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah. But you're right. For the longest time, I was like, one of those, I got to those lines like, yeah, Parson Brown.
I know. Yeah, exactly. It's so frustrating for me, and I know that I've talked about this before, but I don't know the lyrics to just about anything.
Right.
But when they take a leap into no man's land like this, and it's like, what is that lyric? It's like, oh, it's Parson Brown. It's like, why?
like, what do you mean you don't know that? It's like, what do you mean you do know that?
Yeah, exactly. Tell me more about Parson.
Yeah.
Is it like person?
Did he lose his underwear?
You know he did. You know he did.
Look, when's the last time you saw a snowman with underwear? That's all I'm saying.
It's a good point.
Yeah.
It's a good point.
Yeah, or it's like, you don't, like, Parson isn't even like a common name for like a priest or something, or at least not that I'm familiar with.
Yeah, me
so
either.
It's just like my immediate thought isn't that it's a title, that it's just like an equally uncommon first name.
Right.
Like, this is my friend Parson.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like, no songwriter. Don't you know that in like 100 years, this will be like one of the most iconic Christmas carols of all time, and what you've done is planted us a very aging seed.
I think maybe even in my mind as a kid, I thought the name actually was like Carson, and they were just saying P because that was part of the song. And I was like, that must be what's happening. This is my reasoning.
Yeah, I can see that. I think I may have even just said Carson Brown.
Yeah, like Parson's not a name. That's ridiculous. Okay, Carson. There we go.
There's a kid on our soccer team named Carson. So like, I'm good.
We're good. I get it.
No, yeah.
This song is solved.
Solved. We solved the song.
We solved it.
Oh, man.
Winter Wonderland.
The other song that I think has just aged absolutely horrifically is Baby It's Cold Outside.
Oh, yeah.
Have you like, I don't know. This feels like one of those songs like that. I don't know. I'm like, we need to fix it.
This is okay. This Baby It's Cold Outside is like Christmas's new favorite punching bag, as far as I'm concerned.
Oh, sure.
It's like every single person I know loves to point out how terrible and creepy the lyrics are. And it's like, I can't tell. This is like a great example. Like, I can't tell how serious people are being with their criticism of the song. Like, are they like you can absolutely interpret the lyrics to be as creepy as possible, and it totally works. And it is like, yep, nope. If that's what they mean, then no, not good.
Okay.
But I also can't tell if it's like, yeah, you can point that out, but obviously these two people are like already really involved, and this is just sort of like a little flirtatious dance they're doing, and we're just having fun by making fun of it. I can never tell where on the side of the line people are in terms of seriousness about the song.
I would wager the guess that I feel like it's probably one of those things that falls very neatly into something that had what was originally okay intentions in terms of just like a playful interaction or something, but it's one of those where it's like the right intentions don't always correct the wrong impact.
Right, yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yes.
But one of the things that it's actually interesting about it, and part of the reason that I brought it up, is because there is a new movie on Netflix called, I think it's Love Hard.
Okay.
And I actually did not think that I was particularly enamored with this particular movie, but there is one scene that is truly spectacular, and it is basically that the main character girl is like, she hates the song. She is like,
right,
for this exact reason,
right? Okay.
She's like, there's no way we're singing it, and she ends up being like put in this like Christmas caroler moment where she's like out, I don't know, in center stage, and it's like literally everybody's staring at her, and she's like, I'm not singing it, and like the guy's like, trust me, and she's like, I'm not singing it. And he's like, trust me. And so she starts singing it, and he changes all of the lyrics to like way more correct and totally understanding things like, like I should probably go. And it's like, absolutely no problem at all.
Yeah.
And it's like, so every single one of them is like, it's like the counterpart to the, like the female side of it is just being like doing everything they possibly can to get the girl to leave.
Right.
It's like, I'll call you an Uber. I think it's literally like one of the lines. So
that's funny.
We can link that in the show notes as well, because I feel like at the very least you should just listen to that song, because I think this would be like almost the Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer thing, where there's like these like little variations and spins and comical additions and stuff. Like I could almost literally see this version just taking over as the new Baby It's Cold Outside.
Oh, interesting.
But what I think is really interesting about it, and why I wanted to mesh all these ideas together, is that Uber is one of those words that is very, very, very like relevant today. Now.
I see.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But also, it could be Parson Brown.
Oh, in the future. I'll call you an Uber. What does that even mean? What's
like,
an Uber?
Right. It's like back in the 20s, there was like, this, if you wanted to go home, they were like taxis, sort of, but
like you used your phone and you summoned them to you, and they just picked you up and drove you to a spot. And that was just some people's job. That was it. And it was really convenient. And they'll be like, wait, I thought people used to own cars. And they'd be like, no, we did own cars. This was like if you didn't want to drink and drive or something. They're like, so a complete stranger would pick you up where you were, and you just trust that they take you to the right spot. That's correct. They'd be like, boy, I'm glad we have self-driving cars now that just pick us up wherever.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Oh my gosh. Yes. I think you nailed all of that.
Yeah.
That's exactly where we're going. But I remember, and that's such a funny thing too that you talk about. You bring up that point. Now I'm offshooting off of Christmas songs and now just into Uber. But I do remember when Uber first came out and it was being like explained as exactly that. It's like you're getting in a car like with just someone. And it's like it's funny how different when the idea was introduced. All of a sudden, like the difference between a taxi cab, like a yellow vehicle, and someone's like Nissan Altima.
Yeah.
Like all of a sudden these were like very different ideas. It was like the yellow cab seemed like, oh man, very reliable. But like this other person, it's like, what do we know? And now Uber is just, it feels ubiquitous.
Yeah, it does. I can even see like, you're right. Imagine a world where the lyrics you just said like take over, right? Like, 50 years from now, I could see even the concept of Uber being like, I can't believe that this is part of this song. It's so creepy. Like, what? It's Christmas Eve. Why aren't you offering to let them stay? You're going to send them home with a stranger you don't know?
The interpretations will just keep changing.
This song is doomed.
Maybe it'll be like this thing that like as it travels through history, its legacy will be that it continuously updates in accordance with like the new like social standards and stuff. So it's like it's a song that like you can literally like see iteration after iteration after iteration, and it like literally snowballs.
Oh,
see what I'm doing here? See what I'm doing here? Yeah,
because of the cold weather outside.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right. Yes. Precisely.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Goodness.
So that's all I got on that. Transition. We're back?
We're back.
We're back. Man, this is a very transition-heavy episode.
You know, Christmas Eve, you got a lot of places to be. You know,
Right.
you got to stop at Mom's, and you got to stop at Aunt Tina's. You got to wake up in the morning. You got to play. You know, there's a lot of transitions at Christmas.
There's a lot of transition. You know
Yeah.
what? This is actually maybe a question for the little colonels out there. Is almost like this like, I feel like so much pressure when we're talking to try my very best to like let one concept just roll neatly into the next one, and a lot of times it actually just does happen neatly, but other
like
times
a snowball because it's cold outside.
because it's cold outside. That wasn't a transition, that was a revision.
As a callback,
A
like almost
callback.
immediately though.
True. Too soon. Too soon.
I'm sorry, y'all. I'll do better.
But yeah, I'd be curious if at times it's like, well, that conversation's over. Transition, new topic.
Yeah.
But so this new topic is one that I've actually already posed you before out in the real world.
Okay.
But I am curious because I think it's another one of these like possible thought experiments a little bit. Hopefully not, too radical in nature.
Okay.
Is my hope here.
Oh boy.
I mean, it's Christmas Eve after all. I mean, Okay, so my question is skepticism a healthy part of the collective consciousness?
Okay. Off the top of my head, I feel like the really obvious answer is yes. And I feel like you would have arrived there as well. And yet you're asking me now. So what is your counter?
No, I agree. Okay. I think it's so the real. I think what really got me thinking about this the other day was strangely like the idea of like the flat Earth. So it's.
Are you a flat earther now?
No, I'm not.
This is how Santa works. It's because it's flat, right? It's not as much space as you think.
It makes it way easier because it's a grid.
It's a grid.
It's a big square,
Right.
And you're able to drop ship
Yeah.
to each of the available spots.
No problem. Most of it's ocean anyway.
Most of it's ocean anyway. Yeah, so it's really not that big of a deal.
You're thinking of the Earth as too big. It's just one big flat disk, and 70%. It's only 30%. People are giving them credit for like the whole world. It's only like 30%.
I know.
Anyway.
Seriously, it's not that big of a deal. It's not that hard. No, okay. So the thing about this in particular though is I'm very curious if almost like on a so sociology is basically the word for like the study of populations of people.
Okay.
Right? So it's like it's almost like the psychology of everyone, like the whole populace. And to say everyone, that can mean anything as small as like a band or a tribe or like a city or a fandom or something like that. So it doesn't have to be literally everybody all the time and always, but just depending on how you shape it. But the curiosity here is almost that like is there almost like I almost imagine it like a law of nature that dictates that some amount of skepticism must exist, like in a way that it's like from like a possibly even like evolutionary standpoint, like the society as a whole is somewhat dependent on ongoing skepticism. So like if you wanted to start like like really small, for example, you might have a tribe and like the tribe has harvested these like mushrooms forever, and it's like they're very plentiful in the forest near where they live. And so for years and years and years and years, they've collected and consumed these mushrooms.
Yeah.
But then like there is like a portion of it that, despite the fact that this has always been the case and always what they've been taught, it's almost like, hey, wait a second. What if these mushrooms are affecting like our total life expectancy? Like, maybe we need to like not continue to eat the mushrooms. And so like the idea would be,
maybe we should introduce like protein into our diet.
Exactly. Yeah. Like it's like, despite the fact that this is largely like the accepted model, there's always someone who needs to ask the question, are we sure?
Right.
And so what I think is interesting about it is like, in my mind, like so sometimes I do this just because I think it's fun, but I will try to take something that I believe and then I will try to find the exact opposite of it, and then I will try to defend that version of it to myself.
Ah, that's fun.
Does this make sense?
It does make sense. I actually do this sometimes when I'm feeling like really negative about something, or like something I don't want to do. Like I would be like, what would it be like if I instead was excited about this? Like, how would it look? How would it look if I was excited about this? Like how would I be acting if I was looking forward to this trip? You know?
Sure. Yeah.
Or something like that, whatever it is. And then it's like, okay, sometimes that really does help, because like, okay, these are the things I would be looking forward to. And then you can sometimes actually just find yourself like looking forward to those things or whatever it is. But yeah, I do similar thought experiments about trying to like shift my moods.
Yeah. So, and for me, it's usually trying to gain some measure of perspective. And so
Healthy.
Yeah. I think that's good. I think it's good. I mean, okay, here's another question we can just toss out to little kernels, and because it's something that I'm genuinely fascinated with. I mean, if you listen to this show, then you know that I basically question everything all the time and always. But I can't tell if this is something that is not as common as I think it is, like, because it's like very common inside of my own brain. Mm-hmm. I like reflect that onto everybody as well. Like, my assumption is that people are constantly questioning everything and putting it through the ringer.
Right.
Like, how firmly do you believe in something, and have you ever questioned it? Have you ever tried to like take that other side? I'm not asking you necessarily specifically so much as just I'm posing it out into the ether,
right,
for potential feedback. Okay. But so anyway, so as I was going through this process, it was almost like, you know, working off like that mushroom example. I was like, okay, so like the modern day, it was like, what would I need to wrap my head around in order to like start to understand the grand misconception that is the Earth is, like the belief that the Earth is round, because it is, of course, flat. And
you're trying to argue yourself into flat earthing?
Well, I'm not actually.
Not actually, yes, but just as an experiment. Like, what would it? Yeah.
What would it take? Because like I start going through like so much of what we learn in school, and the fact that like probably every single classroom you've ever been in has had a globe.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like from a very young age, you were presented with this like reasonably concrete thought that is, the mushrooms are safe. The Earth is round. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like, then on top of that, there's like so much energy that has gone into like creating this illusion that is space exploration, maybe, or like the reason that like how much effort would have had to go into. I am convinced that the only way for the Earth to be flat is basically because some people know that it isn't, and it would be incredibly dangerous for us to not, for us to know the truth. So it's like it is.
What is the danger?
And that's the question. Yeah, it's like if everybody all at once realized it, like, would gravity stop? You know, or something? And it's like whoa.
What don't you know about willpower?
I know. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like we are willing ourselves into our seats right now. If anything, we're resisting flight at all times.
Oh, that'd be the most depressing thing. We could all fly the whole time.
Oh man, true. But so anyway, this is the thought though. It's like basically like what I would have to believe is that some people, somewhere know that it is, and that it's like it is like for safety or something. It's like you can't know. If you know, it'll be bad. So we need to build everything else around the idea of this globe.
Yeah.
And it's like in the globe, that's it. That's good. Globe is good for us. You know, or even like pilots, you know, who like literally fly around the curvature of the Earth.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, how many people are in on this?
Yeah, right. That's the thing. That's why that is a particularly like ludicrous example.
I know.
Like, it's how many people? In order for the Earth to be flat, the number of people keeping a secret would have to be outrageous.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it feels like that.
And that alone is the reason you can be sure that it's round, is because That many people can't keep a secret.
So, yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. So, conclusion alert is like, and this is sort of like why I got back to this original thought, is that it's almost like it is mandated by the laws of sociology that someone be skeptical of an idea. Mm-hmm. Does that make sense? Like,
I mean, for sure, it does. And I think it is healthy. Like, it is healthy to have disagreements and to be cautious about moving forward with something, because I mean, otherwise you could very easily just have anyone come up and pitch 1,000 good reasons to do whatever they want to do, and you're like, okay, and if everyone just immediately agreed every single time with no like, but wouldn't question,
right?
Wouldn't
right.
that also mean that or something? You know, then that would be bad.
That would be bad. Yeah, yeah. Well, and yeah. So the I guess what's like where things like this can get like interesting is that overwhelming evidence is really what it comes down to me. It's like there's so much that depends on this being true that if it's not true, I don't know. Like I like that's what I keep coming back to, is that it's like are there people who doubt gravity?
Oh, are there some people who are like, maybe the reason we can't fly is because we're told from the moment we're born we can't fly.
Right. Yeah, or like how...
Like, if I just raised a bunch of kids and showed them videos of people taking off of cliffs, just jumping and just immediately flying, and then had them do it and really believed they could, would they?
I don't know.
Don't do that.
This is the time I tried. This reminds me of the time that I tried to see the future while I was doing like one of those floats.
Yeah,
you know, like we were in like a
sensory deprivation chamber.
That's the one. I tried to see the future. It did not work. But so I guess the thing is how overwhelming does the evidence have to be to where there exists no skepticism? It is a generally, like, not even generally accepted, because generally would mean most.
Yeah,
I'm saying all.
Yeah,
like unequivocally.
Right. I feel like probably people breathe oxygen or something. You know?
You think we breathe oxygen?
Yeah.
Wow.
So I was gonna be like, the air is mostly nitrogen.
How's that tinfoil hat fit over there?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's the thing where it's like, even that though could be something where I feel like there could be someone out there that's like, oh no, we're not breathing oxygen. That's what they want you to think. Who is they?
Right. That's the thing. Like there is certainly healthy skepticism, and then I think what the problem with our discussion right now is that we're discussing the need culturally for a certain amount of healthy skepticism, and then what we're also discussing is blatant ignorance.
Sure. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. But
which are different things.
Which are different things. But Jay, hear me out. What if it is flat? What if they're right?
Yeah. This is like this we have a Super Carlin Brothers joke exactly like this about the existence of narwhals, right? Like there's almost overwhelming evidence that they're definitely real. Probably. You know.
Probably.
They're like almost for sure they're real.
If there is one thing that National Geographic is known for, it's their pranks.
They go big. They
go unicorn big.
They go unicorn big. And here's the thing. I think the way the Narwhal Conspiracy works is that it's not necessarily like it's not like all the people are like actively like selling the lie. It's just whether or not you recognize it, and upon recognizing it, you also recognize the game, which is, let's keep it going. This is fun. Unicorn whales, of course. Like, of course. What's the who benefits from proving unicorn whales wrong? Nobody. The world is a better place with unicorn whales. So we're going to keep this going.
It's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. You think I'm going to believe that's a tooth?
Tooth. Goodness. I got someone shared, I think on Reddit the other day, narwhals like attacking a fish with the horn, and they were like, finally we know what the horn is for. And I was like, what do you mean finally? Of course that's what it's for. Are you kidding?
Wait, I hold on. I actually need to weigh in here.
Yeah.
I don't know if I knew that I didn't know that the horn had a function. No. Because it seems like if you were to I don't know, harpoon something with the horn, it would be rather difficult to get it to your face.
Yeah. So the of course this is all just a working theory based around how these fictional creatures use their thing to attack, use the horn.
So do you mean to tell me that you think unicorns use their horns as like a part of combat?
That's a good question. That is a good question. I feel like often when you come across unicorns, it's more like the source of their magic or something.
That's true.
Is the horn. But I don't see why unicorns couldn't just like gore somebody with the horn.
Well, that's one way to look at unicorns.
Where is that? Someone needs to tell me about the fantasy novel that involves like really deadly unicorns. Like
certainly
let's get away from the rainbows, and it's like these people have horned horses for a reason.
Right, they're dangerous.
They're dangerous. All right, they're exactly. No, to go back to the narwhals, it wasn't so much harpooning the fish; it was more like beat sticking them, just sort of like bonk, like hitting them with the horn with the side of it.
Well, okay.
Yeah. So anyway, that's what National Geographic is currently selling about narwhals.
Classic Nat Geo.
Classic Nat Geo, man. The biggest prank of all time.
Not even though. They're like not that well-known creatures.
Narwhals?
Narwhals. Swimming through the ocean.
Yeah. I think they're pretty well-known creatures.
I mean, they're well-known creatures, but they're not like lions.
Well, I guess.
Or cheetahs.
Yeah, most people know about cheetahs.
Most people definitely know about cheetahs.
Cheetah is like one of those. What I love about cheetahs. But can I tell you what I love about cheetahs?
Is that going to be the title of the episode?
Is that
a Christmas special?
Is that they are the fastest land animal. Okay.
Yes.
And that is how you learn about it as a kid. That's what everyone knows about cheetahs, is that they're the fastest land animal.
Is that not their most noteworthy trait?
That is absolutely their most noteworthy trait.
Oh, okay.
But I feel like so often, this is the sort of thing that when you grow up, you find out that like cheetahs are simply the most well-known super fast animal, but actually there's this other thing that runs a little bit faster. It's like super rare, but actually cheetahs aren't the fastest. But you know what? They are. They are the fastest. And I don't look. Someone is in the comments right now like, what about emus or something? Someone's contesting it right now.
Okay.
But this is the thing. Cheetahs are the fastest. And I feel like I'm waiting for the day where someone like just reveals like cheetahs aren't the fastest. Like they're fast. They're not they're like, but actually this. Like it's like why wouldn't we just teach people what the fastest thing is from the beginning?
Because cheetahs are awesome.
I know, because cheetahs are awesome. That's what I love about cheetahs. They're so fast.
That's what I love about cheetahs.
That's what I love about cheetahs.
Okay, so here's a question for you then. What do you think is the most well-known animal on the entire planet?
Elephants.
Elephants?
Yeah.
Because they're big?
Because they're big. Because they're big and they have trunk. Nothing is like an elephant.
Can't hardly miss it.
You can't. Exactly. You can't hardly miss an elephant.
There used to be giant land sloths.
That's true. That's true.
They were not similar to elephants, but
they were so unmissable as to die.
It's true.
Yeah.
It was their own demise.
Yeah. Elephants is a bet. Otherwise, like cows, maybe.
A cow?
Yeah, cows.
You think so?
I mean,
like black and white cows,
like black and white,
like spotted,
like any variety of cow. Yeah, I think it's probably a pretty well-known creature world over.
You want to know what
right?
I think it is?
Is cattle not everywhere?
I don't know if cattle are everywhere.
Okay.
That's a grand question.
It is.
I was going to say howler monkeys.
You think? I don't think that's the answer.
I think it's howler monkeys.
I don't think it is.
I'm pretty sure.
I'm sticking with maybe dogs. Dogs are everywhere. Let's back it up. Dogs is my answer.
That's fair.
Everybody's got dogs.
Everybody loves cakes.
Everybody loves cakes.
Cakes have layers.
Man's best friend. Right?
No, I think
it
that was
like
donkey.
Probably a domesticated animal. That would make sense to me.
Unless it's not domesticated the world over.
Well, that's true. That's true. But I think dogs are domestic. Is there any countries where people don't own dogs?
I don't know.
You would think this is just like I don't know.
I mean, I don't know that everywhere you would go that there would be household dogs.
You don't think
it seems
pets
entirely
are a universal thing?
Maybe not. It depends.
Interesting.
It depends.
I mean, universal to the point where every culture involves some people owning pets, not like every single person owns a pet, because obviously that's not true.
I think the difference is that probably every single culture owns maybe some kind of even like farm animal, like something that provides like utility.
Yeah.
But like, if you have a pasture full of cows, you don't have a lot of pets.
That's an interesting thought. If you have a pasture, but if you have so I wonder if how dog ownership came to be. Like, was it strictly for like utility at the beginning? Like it was like the dog was basically like a trained thing you could use to help you, like to herd your sheep or to retrieve the ducks or whatever. And then like, did people own when did people start owning dogs for pleasure?
When did people start owning dogs? Well, I'm going to look it up.
Oh, okay.
I'm curious.
Very curious.
I'm curious.
Or has this just been universal? That people always just had a kinship with our canine friends?
They are man's best friend.
Yeah.
Owning dogs. Wow, as early as 12,000 years ago.
Wow.
So longer than we've had written language.
That's pretty impressive.
By almost a multiplier of 2.
That to me almost feels like dogs are supposed to be with humans.
That does feel
That
very
feels like
interesting. That feels
like,
very interesting.
Yeah.
I'm curious about that now.
12,000.
12,000.
That's 10,000 BC.
Yeah.
It's a long time.
That's a long
It's
time.
like biblical times.
Yeah.
Very pre-biblical times. Well, I don't know. Whatever.
Not pre-dog owning times, though. Do you think there was a PetSmart back then?
No, I don't think so.
No.
Yeah.
Where do you think they got their kibbles?
I don't know. I think they did. Yeah, it's probably a lot more hunting and stuff happening then.
Do you think the dogs help with hunting?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. Okay, Jay, transition. We're out of it. We're back. We're in.
Okay.
But I have a question for you based on what we have in the show notes here. You have a note that says, the vegan food is for everyone, right? Question mark?
That is my question. Okay. So I need your help clearing my conscience of something that's been weighing on me since 2010. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah. Okay. So, and I think this might even be applicable in the coming days because I suspect that many people are about to head to lots of different family gatherings where there will be large spreads of food, and some of those dishes will be specifically vegetarian or vegan or catered to a specific style of eating.
Yeah.
Right? Okay.
Absolutely.
So anyway, back in 2010, I was working on the set of the movie Lake Effects, right?
Oh, yeah.
I think I've told some stories about this.
Yeah.
And once a day, so like there was a ton of people who would come out from like Hollywood and California and stuff to like work on the set here in our, it's at Smith Mountain Lake in Virginia.
Yep.
And as such, like it was like a real Hollywood production and stuff. And so during breakfast and lunch and dinner, which was like provided, it was like catered every day.
Sure.
They would lay out all these different, trays of food, and there would always be at least, one tray of like vegan food and one tray of like vegetarian food, and then whatever.
And then everything else.
And then everything else, right?
Sure.
So here's my question. Now, that said, like the number of people who specifically could only eat, who were like limited to that one tray, was not very high.
Sure.
There's maybe like 4 or 5 people who were specifically like, I can only eat out of this one.
Right.
Anyway, so the question that I remember going through the line one day and just coming across whatever the vegan tray was. Couldn't even tell you what it was being served. I think it was just some sort of like, maybe even like pasta, something.
Okay.
I don't know. I was like, ooh, this looks good. Putting it on my plate. Gonna eat it.
Okay.
Looks good. And I remember someone like, it wasn't me, but like someone down the line also put it, and someone across from them knew that person who put that on their plate was not vegan, and they like scolded them for it.
Oh, wow.
As if like, no, that's not for you. Like that's just for the, I was like, now wait a minute. I don't think that's accurate.
I actually think this is a very interesting conundrum.
Right.
Because there is that fact that my expectation is that if you're a vegetarian or a vegan, that maybe at least in the modern day, there are going to be fewer options available like on a menu.
Right. Like you're going to have to order one of 3 things or something. Yeah.
Right. So, okay. So the question starts to become, is it like, what is even, if there is at all, the relevance of just being like, yeah, I eat vegan once a week or something like that. Like, is there something, because there's so many different reasons why somebody might choose these like dietary paths.
Right. Yeah. I mean, for whatever reason you might have, I don't care if you're vegan. That's great. Good for you.
Yeah. No. But so I'm trying to think here because I think this is I think it's a very, very interesting question.
I mean, if you're at a restaurant, like I will sometimes order, like it'll say, I think we go to this place down the street called Three Notch. They have like occasionally like a vegan hot dog or something, and it's like I've ordered it on several occasions and it is super good.
Right.
It's just like I'm just trying everything on the menu. We eat here all the time.
It's true.
Yeah,
it's true.
But it's not like you go to the restaurant and you're like, I will have this, and they're like, can you prove first before I bring you that? Can you prove that you're vegan?
Right.
Because like if you are not discerning, if you eat anything,
right,
like you'd think all options are available to you.
It's true. The thing I feel like I'm getting hung up on is the potential scarcity. And it sounds like it was like observable enough in such a way that it wasn't going to be a problem.
I will say that as well, because that I can. You're right. Like if it was getting to the point where, if you're like a vegan person, you get 20 people down at the line and the one dish that's there specifically for you is gone because all of the other people ahead of you took it.
Right.
That's a problem because now you're going to be very hungry.
Right.
Right. That's a problem. I will say this was like 10 days into shooting or something, and not once had any tray been empty of food at any point.
Sure.
Like there was tons of food.
There was a large basis for it.
And besides that, it's not that especially like on these particular dishes, like most people, were not vegan and they were eating from the other dishes.
Sure.
But that I don't think that should mean you're not allowed to try
like
that food if it's there.
A vegan meal.
Yeah. Like, I mean, if it's running out, that's obviously one thing.
Right.
And that was not the case. I
feel like on the fence, and I can't decide if I'm on the fence because for whatever reason I tend to not gravitate towards these options like at all. Mm-hmm. So like I would say there's probably only been maybe like 2 occasions in my life where I ordered the vegetarian option.
Well, so this is such a thing because like. Imagine, for example, like what the catering is like, okay, we start with salad, right? That's at the end of the table. And then right next to it is like a tray of like meat lasagna. And right next to it is a tray of like eggplant lasagna.
Sure.
For, to accommodate different eating styles.
Right.
Like it is like, first of all, you get to the salad. No one's going to be like, you're not allowed to eat that salad.
Right.
Because you're not vegan. Because salad is something that is typically not like protein heavy anyway.
Sure.
It's often just vegetables.
Right.
So that would be like this weird like loophole in the system. But then like imagine like I'd personally prefer meat lasagna, but it is possible that even as someone who eats meat that I just prefer eggplant lasagna.
Sure.
Sure. It's like this is just a different kind of food, and I just like the way this tastes more.
Yeah. No,
right?
I do absolutely get and understand that exact angle. This is something where it's like I like what I literally don't know is this is like the type of thing where, like without knowing whether or not this is like a steady problem. Mm-hmm. For people who are vegan, like I literally, not only am I not like even remotely close to being vegan, but I also I don't even think I have any friends that are vegan. Mm-hmm. Now that I'm thinking about it. So I'm I'm having me a hard struggle on it. Like,
just imagine you're in line and you're like, man, this looks like really good lasagna. And you put it on your plate and then someone yells at you because like, wait a minute, you eat meat. You can't eat that. Like, it seems weird.
It does.
I don't know.
It does.
I can't tell if the person's scolding.
I think the person scolding was out of hand.
Okay.
Would be my thought. Like, I feel like that is over the top.
Yeah.
The big thing that I feel like my brain keeps coming back to is my expectation is that there are more different options available for like non-vegan options.
Right.
And I don't know if that like makes it so that it's like there's an overwhelming amount of I do have a friend who's a vegetarian, and so like whenever I order pizza all the time.
Yeah.
And so whenever she's over, I will usually order like something that is vegetarian friendly, so that like either like a cheese pizza or like have vegetables on it or whatever the case may be. And I do even know that in those cases I have always felt like I shouldn't. Like
you shouldn't have some of that pizza.
Like I shouldn't have some of that pizza.
But like if you personally just prefer onion pizza,
true,
and like you just like that, and so you ordered it,
right?
And it's like also convenient that you have a friend who's vegetarian who can now also eat that.
Okay, so here's the question too, because it's a very community based eating like situation.
Yeah,
I think if you're, I would say unequivocally, if you were at a restaurant and there's a vegan or a vegetarian item on the menu and you want to choose that for your dish,
right,
100% fine.
I agree.
I think that is something where it's like, absolutely, it's an item on the menu. You are there allowed to eat. Like, could just be the case that for one reason or another, that's what you want that evening. The thing that I feel like I'm the most curious about, or like I think like what gives me pause is probably just the communal nature of the offering.
Of the offering?
Yes.
Okay.
Like my immediate gut feeling is that this is not a problem, but I cannot believe how stuck on it I am.
Right? Because it's a weird thing, because like if you're the vegan or the vegetarian in the situation, your options are extremely limited. Like you cannot eat the other things.
Sure.
Based on your own moral code, and that's fine. But like
or dietary
restrictions or whatever the case may be. But if you don't have any restrictions of any kind and it's all solely down to flavor, then it's like you're suddenly being is it okay for you to be blocked on something just because you could eat other things? It's like I felt it was such a weird dilemma, and I think maybe it bothered me because it didn't seem like they were running out of that option, and we were like several days in. Maybe we were. Maybe I wasn't paying attention, but I don't know. I'm curious. I bet.
I know. I just tried to look it up, and so all the responses I was getting had much more to do with what can you eat if you are vegan, not whether or not you can eat the vegan meal if you are not vegan.
Right. Because this is the thing, because you can prefer the vegan food even if you're not vegan. Right? And like
yes,
and
absolutely.
You should be allowed to.
Yes. That I definitely agree with that. Like I think that just tracks to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cuz that's the other thing too, is that like as it pertains to like walking up. Okay, because like there could be like an allergy related situation as well. So take like vegan and vegetarian out of it, and like let's just say you have peanut chicken and chicken tikka masala or something like that as like the two options. It's like if there was a known person in the group who had like a nut allergy, would it be wrong to take the tikka masala?
Right. Would it be wrong to take the non-nut option because you're leaving them less?
Right.
Right. It's a weird situation.
It is a weird situation.
Yeah.
I honestly, I really do think it's interesting. So what I really want is like, I think we just have to do follow up on this, because I need the people out there who either work in the, like catering type of business.
Yeah. This is probably what we need, is people who work more in catering often.
Yeah. Because the other thing that could be considered here too is like the level, or like how robust is the catering. Like I know at our wedding, we had picked out like several different dishes of food, but I think the way that like Disney had structured it like wasn't that people needed to decide out of the buffet if they were going to choose like beef or chicken or whatever. It's just like they were like, there will be unlimited beef and chicken.
Right.
It's like every single person could get there and want beef, and we will keep bringing beef.
Right.
Like it will not run out.
Yeah.
And so like that would be a thought too, like where you might think of it as like one pan that is before you, but it's also could just very well be the case that there's like a heater,
Yeah.
over in the truck.
I will say in my scenario, there was not. There was the pans in front of you.
Okay.
Like a catering company came, they laid out all the pans, and then they waited for everyone to eat, and they collected the pans and left.
Yes. Okay.
You're very on location.
We need feedback from
Yeah.
if you're vegan, if you're vegetarian.
I bet this happens at like family dinners and stuff. where
I
it's
could
like,
totally see it happening at a family dinner.
Yeah.
Especially if you're going to a family dinner where it is common to bring a dish. What is that called? Potluck style or
Yeah.
whatever. So because if you do have specific dietary needs in this specific case, you may, as a vegan or vegetarian or something, bring a dish that falls into that category. And then there's kind of an odd thing where it's like, if no one else brought anything, is the only thing you can eat the dish you brought, and
Right.
no one else can eat what you brought because it's the only thing there.
Right.
I mean, that would be like, Okay, well, I just need feedback.
Yeah. We can go round and round.
I wish I had a more straightforward answer. I will go back to the thought that I think that the person who was being harsh could have not been harsh.
I agree with that.
Yeah, I think that wasn't necessary. my assumption is that person was having a bad day for some other reason.
I feel like that happens a lot on set.
Yeah,
They're very long days. Like it was 14-hour days every day starting at like 5 a.m.
That sounds like the biz.
That's
Like,
the biz.
The one day that you and I have been on set, well, we've done it a few times now, I guess, but the big one that we ever did was that Star Wars Lenovo like VR headset thing. And we were out in LA and we were in, this house, and we had got there, I think our call time was like 5:30 or something, and we did not leave until 11:30 that night.
Yeah.
And I remember like it was like possibly the most tired I've been.
Yeah. It was tiring.
Or at the very least, I would say top 5 days of my life in terms of exhaustion. Because you want to know what was crazy about that day is that it was like boiling hot outside. And then also, I don't know if the house just didn't have air conditioning or if they weren't running it because like all of the doors and windows and everything were open for shooting
for
purposes.
filming, people were so in and out.
Right.
Yeah.
But it was like 104 degrees inside of the house, and they had us in these like blazers and stuff. I think I remember at one point in time I like took it off, and they had like the makeup artist or whatever who was right there, and I think that their reaction was like, "Whoa, like you have sweat through that shirt
a lot."
Yeah, I was like, I don't know what to do. I'm sorry. Like I would love nothing more than to not be this sweaty.
Yeah.
But here I am.
So anyway, I'm gonna go be on camera now.
Yeah. There you go. Just they'll fix me in post.
Exactly.
They'll take the sheen off.
Take the sheen. That's your job, makeup artist. Take the sheen off.
Here people are on Christmas Eve, and we're talking about sheen.
Sheen.
We should probably switch topics.
Okay.
So tomorrow is Christmas morning.
Yes, it is.
Is there anything you're particularly excited to have given the boys?
Definitely the big one is that we got Luke a new bike that has pedals on it.
Ooh.
So I'm very excited to see what he makes of it.
Yes.
Because he's been doing the Strider bike for like a couple years, and he's pretty good at it. I mean, he'll go in the backyard, he can go down the hills, he can, scoot along, he does a little pump track and stuff.
Yep.
And the theory is that if you use the Strider bikes, you just skip over training wheels altogether because they're already like coasting around on 2 wheels. So there's no reason to that's like a step backwards, really.
I genuinely think the Strider bike is this like fascinating kind of like teaching tool where taking things out of the equation actually made it more effective.
Yeah.
It's like that is interesting to me.
Yeah.
It's like they were like, hey, instead of training wheels, what if not training wheels, no pedals?
Right.
And it's like, huh.
Interesting.
And they can just stroll right along. So that's very cool.
Yeah.
That's really cool. Do you think he's going to be super excited?
I think he's going to be very excited. I am hopeful that it is going to be, the weather will be such that we can go try it out somewhere.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is there any other like family traditions that you're wanting to like inject into sort of like it's hard to break away from the traditions that I've known my entire life with our family.
Yeah.
Like it's like those, it's like in my mind, it's like those are the things. But then I also think about the fact that like when we were growing up, our parents were starting those traditions with us.
Yeah.
And there were certain things that were kind of like clockwork about the holidays for us and how we approach things. Oh, here's one thing that the Carlin fam does that I think is not common, or maybe not uncommon. It's something. We open every single present one at a time.
Yeah.
Like, and we go around the room. We go around the room, and it's done by like age. And so like everybody, I think the youngest person starts, and then like they open, and all the way around and around and around. And it's like we open every gift, we explain every gift, and it takes hours. But like there is at no point in time is it just like structured chaos of like, Ben, here are your 3 presents. Jay, here are your 3 presents. Like,
everyone go.
Everybody have fun. We'll talk about it later.
Yeah. No, it's not like that at our house. Yeah, you're right. I mean, when we were growing up, it was just, me, you, mom, dad, and Ty. It wasn't really, it didn't take that long because there was only like 5 of us, and mom and dad had gotten us most of the gifts.
True.
And
there are now 14 of us.
Yeah. So it's a little different now. Yeah. It's a lot more people.
Yeah.
And it's clear. It's like, we are at this weird stage where it's like, do we need to pass the baton on to like a new tradition that isn't so like time intensive, or just let people go a little more crazy with it and just like, just pass them out, open them up. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. But then it's like, we've done it this way for so long.
I know this is like one of those occasions where I feel like the thing I always go back to my brain is when I did a study abroad in Australia. This is a very quick story, but you could do a like excursion certification for scuba diving, which is basically like you're not scuba certified at all. You have no credentials. You've never done it before, but they can put you in some of the equipment and basically take you onto the side of the boat where there's a couple of like rungs, and like they will have you like put the mask on, go underwater, take the mask off underwater, come back up, like do just a variety of things to prove that if someone kicks you underwater that you're not going to
drown.
Be in like danger or whatever. And I remember being very nervous, specifically because when you're scuba diving, you wear weights.
Yeah.
And I think that I was like, what if I like knock my mask off and I can't figure out where my like flotation thing is and I'm like sinking. So
what if I just sink?
I know. So like there's like this moment where they're sort of like, you're good to go. Like they gave you the thumbs up or whatever, the stamp, and you have to let go of the bar. And I remember being petrified.
Right.
I was like, I don't want to let go of the bar.
Yeah.
The bar is safety.
Yeah.
And I remember being so scared. But so like, I think that analogy works because I feel like this is how I feel about like departing some of these traditions.
Yeah.
Is it's sort of like, but I know this. I know the bar works.
Yeah.
What if I let go?
What if I let go?
What
I
happens?
just sink to the bottom and die. This is it.
That won't happen.
No.
We'll be fine.
No.
We'll be fine. It was scary though. I will tell you that I did bungee jumping on the exact same trip, and I was more scared by scuba diving than bungee jumping.
Well, so yeah, but like, so we say that like, there's like so many people, but it like occurs to me that that was basically the scenario at like on our mom's side of the family, where there was no like everyone sits down one at a time. It was like everyone, as soon as you get a gift, just open it up. People are getting gifts left and right. People are passing them out.
Sure.
People are screaming across the room, "What'd you get? Oh, thank you so. Yeah, that was so fun."
Right.
And it's just sort of like just sort of chaos everywhere. Kids are opening up toys. Those toys are becoming unwrapped. They're firing off everywhere. And it's like all the adults in that situation just did like Secret Santa with each other. So
yeah, they all opened like one thing.
Yeah. And there was like how many adults in that situation? 8?
Well, 10.
8
with
plus.
grandma and grandpa.
Yeah. So there you go. Like that's pretty close.
It's pretty close,
right?
So here's my quandary though, because like I feel like with gift giving being such like a big like section of my love languages, like specifically for how I like give love, I feel like that's one of those things where part of the fun for me is like getting to
see the person do it.
See the person do it.
Yeah.
See the reaction. Explain the story. Like, this is why I did this thing and whatever. I have no idea if it would lower the approach of shopping if it was that type of thing where it's just sort of like, nah, everybody goes bananas.
Right. Like you're planning for the moment where everyone's watching and the person opens it.
Yeah, I
in
think
your
so.
mind.
I think so. Like I definitely think about the person opening it when I'm purchasing the gift. Like that is absolutely like very present in my brain.
Right.
Because then I also feel like I need to be able to I need to know what I would say about like why I picked this particular thing for this particular person.
Yeah.
What kind of thought went into it.
Yeah.
If I need to explain myself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if everyone's just sort of opening stuff up willy-nilly and they just open it up, they're like, oh, thank you. Thanks for this thing. And that's about the whole conversation. It's just like, yeah, I got your thing. I fulfilled my end of the Christmas obligation.
Right.
Yeah, to exchange gifts.
I know. I actually had this thought the other day that I was like, I wonder if Christmas would ever stop being giving gifts to everybody. And it's just sort of like this time of year where everybody goes out and like, it's like, it stops being gift giving and starts to be show and tell. And it's like,
here's what I bought myself.
Here's what I bought myself. Let me show it to you.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
Is that going to be your personal family tradition? Like you and Alice and Addison just wake up and be like, guys, I bought myself something awesome.
I can't wait to show you.
Yeah.
No, that would not happen.
No.
Yeah. I think I enjoy it way too much.
Yeah.
Where do you stand on opening gifts one at a time? Is this something you could depart?
I could depart from it at our parents' house where there's 14 of us now.
Yeah.
I think I would like to keep it going at
your own house.
my own house because now we're just back down to 5, so no big deal.
Back to square one.
Yeah.
Ooh, this is fascinating.
Of course, the like Nick and Nate, you'd probably open up stuff at the same time. And also, when they're this little, it's hard to be like, wait.
Well, that's
like,
true.
You know,
that's true.
After every single time anyone opens anything, Luke's like, can I open one?
Yeah.
And it's like, of course, it's like, it's really fun for them, though. So
it's true. It's true. I mean, and you're getting very close to that age, which is the most fun.
Oh, yeah, for Christmas.
For this particular holiday, because it is just so exciting to like watch them be so excited.
Right.
To have so much to look forward to. Okay. I'm gonna have to think about it.
Yeah.
I think in general, I would assert that you are more likely to hold on to a tradition, I feel, than I am. But I feel like this is an opposite.
This is an opposite?
I think it's the other way. I feel like I would maybe hold on to this one.
To the opening one at a time?
Yeah.
I mean, I liked opening one at a time, probably because it's just the way we've done it the most over the years. Although even that, like when we were at our mom's side grandparents for Christmas, there was like, you and me and Mike and Lenny had like our own little way of doing it. Like
we did,
because the kids all received a gift from each
aunt and uncle,
there, plus grandma and grandpa. So like the way we would always do it is like the 4 of us would always wait until all of us had like all 5 gifts or whatever, and then like open the whole stack at once rather than like as they came to you.
It's true.
Yeah.
And that was very much like there was the tradition at large, and then there were the small group of us that had like our own way of doing it.
Right. Yeah.
And I think it drove our aunts and uncles absolutely mad because like they would like watch their gift get handed to you.
Right. You just sort of like put it under the chair.
And then you put it under the chair.
Yeah.
And they're like, you're not going to open it?
No, I'm going to get to it. I want to do it all at once.
I will say that opening gifts in front of people, as much as this is the tradition that I like, it can be very on the spot.
It can be. Well, see, this is the thing. Like I remember we did this exact same thing on our dad's side of the family where everyone goes around one at a time. And like, there were so many gifts in that scenario. Like plenty of them were like very thoughtful, but plenty of them were just like, it's a candle,
Sure.
Just like, oh yeah, I got that at a market. And just like, you don't need like a whole story about a candle. It's a candle. You got to give it to school. It's fine. Move on. That, it's like that's not, there's not, you know what I mean?
There's maybe not a story about a candle.
Yeah.
In the same way that there is about a splendid pair of socks.
Well, they were alpaca.
They were alpaca. They were alpaca. That's a very good point. Jay, I feel like we've reached a place to close.
Okay.
I think we went a little extra long. It's hard to know with all of our transitions today.
Who's to say?
But
that's okay. It's a little Christmas bonus content.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very nice. Speaking of bonus content, there is a lot of it available over on Patreon if you would be at all interested in supporting over there. Hold on, let me see if I can get our tiers correct. Because we have 3. There's a 5, a 10, and a 25.
Correct.
And at the $25 tier, there is an exclusive piece of merch that we create each quarter. And that is something that we tend to have a lot of fun creating, designing. Q4, if you sign up between now and the end of the year, you will still get in on the exclusive vinyl record, which is going to be an extra episode of The Pop, which is only available on vinyl.
Yeah, very excited about it.
Going to be pretty neat. Be pretty neat. And then again, at the $5 tier, there is the entire backlog of After the Final Pop, which is over 100 episodes, I believe, of just kind of like a 20-minute version of the standard pop.
Right.
Just some extra talking.
Right.
So that's a good one. If you are at all interested in just binging all of them, you can get access to all of them for a month if you just sign up, even for 1 month.
Yeah.
That's patreon.com/popcornculture. Otherwise, guys, Merry Christmas. Until next time.
Pop, pop.